Meeting to order. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first on our agenda is approval of minutes, public and non-public, April 9th. I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
Make a motion to approve the minutes, public and non-public, from April 9th.
Okay.
Second.
And Kathleen seconds. All right, you see your minutes there. Any questions, concerns, corrections on this one? It's short and sweet, so.
Yeah.
All right. All those in favor of the minutes as presented signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
Kathleen's and Hope, you abstain too? All right, 2 abstentions there. Cool. All right, first thing on our agenda is public comment. Any public comment right now? All right, we'll keep this open as according to state law. Student representative report. You're up first. I know it goes fast. We do have your written report in our packet.
All right. So first off, we have Destination Imagination. They're going to Globals in Kansas City on May 21st. It's about a 4-day trip, maybe something I read like that. And then some of our students: Abigail Lockett, Jaden Bates, Silas, Adeline, right? Yes, yeah. You would know. And these are the ones representing us. And then AV Club this past week visited the elementary school in Canaan to show the kids some footage, show them what they do, played karaoke, had some fun. Some testing. The juniors have the science SAS testing on May 16th. The underclassmen took the PSATs and SATs. It was a very smooth day, very successful for us. The Mascoma High School Art Show is also pairing with the middle schools, the middle school as well as both elementary schools this year to have their art show on May 17th here at the high school. And then prom tickets are officially on sale. It's May 18th, as I talked about, in Hartford. The theme is Old Hollywood this year. And then in May, all of those AP tests will be taken. There's been some practice tests, very successful, definitely a good way to prepare the students. And then spring sports are well underway now. I know Elise Track has been super successful. There's even some new kids setting some school records. And then underclassmen have registered for their classes. Thank gosh, not me. And then one of our new teams, the Equestrian Club, had their first ever competition this past week, and they came second out of 14 other high schools, which is pretty good, seeing as those high schools have competed for years, and we never have. We have Raina, Molly, and Aubrey competing, and then there's another girl on the team that just couldn't make it, and their next show will be on May 4th. And then some fundraisers to keep up with. Please support if you'd like to. Destination Imagination, obviously they're going on their trip, so they're doing a dinner to fundraise. I believe it's before a middle school play, on the 27th. And then my class is having a spaghetti dinner on May 5th, so a couple weekends away. Put it in your calendars. At the Enfield Community Center to pay for that last little bit of our senior trip as well as senior gifts. And then Project Graduation is having a takeout meatball sub dinner this coming Monday. It's an easy little pickup. Yeah.
All right. Any
And
questions?
Sophia had a great trip to the Galapagos, and we're going to share that out in
That
upcoming.
was fantastic.
Yeah, you look a little tanner.
I'm actually very tan.
Got a little
Like I
color.
said, I didn't burn
That's
once.
good.
She
That's
did
good.
not
And everyone
burn.
else did.
She
That's
they
good.
did. She did an
Took
excellent job.
precautions. Any questions for Sophia? Anybody? Well, good. I'm so glad you enjoyed the Galapagos.
Oh,
That's awesome.
it was-
That's we'll hear a little bit about that, I'm sure, in a full
Little?
report at a future meeting, right?
14.
Yeah, okay, 14, perfect. At this point, I want to entertain a motion to bump up from new business the senior gift approval to right now, if someone wants to make that motion.
So
Okay, then a second. All right, then all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? All right. So this is not your senior gift that you're presenting to us, but this is a proposal we have for your senior class.
Oh, listen.
I may have mentioned this to you at one point, but we'd like to, when we did the renovation of the high school, we didn't put a lot of money in for like sprucing up the grounds and making it look nice. And so we would like to maybe start a tradition here that your class can start, purchasing like either like each class purchase 1 or 2 lilac bushes, and then the school board will match whatever you buy for lilac bushes. I picked lilac because they're purple, and they flower nicely right around graduation time. But that's our idea, and if that's something that's amenable to your senior class, then we would love to partner with you. And then going forward, we would like to do this with the class of 25 and 6 and 7 and so on, so that eventually, after 10 years or so, you'll have a nice field of lilacs all over, everywhere on the campus, not just in one spot. But that's just a thought.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I like that.
Cool, and it's relatively low bar, low cost, because a lilac tree, 1 or 2 is not going to break the bank. And it'd be a good way to use up like little bits of funds if you have some stuff. So.
And get it from the state of New Hampshire.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Even cheaper.
Yeah, they probably won't charge a.
Oh, that's right.
Senior
We'll look into
class.
that.
Sophia's good at planting trees from the Galapagos trip.
She looks
I
like.
put a little stem in the ground. And I want to say I was a tree planter.
You were
But,
there.
I have some experience.
but that's our proposal. So if you would like to bring that to your senior class, and then just bring it back on the next board meeting,
Perfect.
and then see what they say. But then you guys can get like a little plaque for yourselves. class 24, lilac garden. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Whatever you like. So cool. Anything else from the board on that? All right. Cool. All right. You're welcome to stay as long as you can. I understand it is the height of all of your busy tests, and I know how many AP tests Lydia has, so I'm sure you're right there too. So.
No. Have a good night.
All right, so have a good night, Sophia. All right, up next we have the EIC report, committee meeting minutes. Who would like to take those?
That would be me. We met this week, and we had a busy meeting, mostly looking at policies. Angel presented the professional development master plan, which is in this packet. It is a great plan. They have done a lot of work updating it, and also reformatting a lot of it. And it's just, I think it went from 65 pages to 30 pages, so that's always a nice thing. And used lots of graphs and tables and streamlined everything, and apparently they worked really hard on it. It looks great, so thank you. And then most of the policies are in tonight's packet that we'll be looking at. And we're going to continue, in the next meeting, basically we're going to continue to plug away at all these policies and get through them. And that's one of the goals.
Okay.
And then high school guidance presentation on SAT prep program will also be next meeting.
Awesome. And are you meeting meeting the third Thursday at 2? Or did you set a date?
Well, we can't this May.
Okay.
It's we're sort of hashing out when we can meet in May.
Okay,
But yes, it's usually third Thursday,
Okay.
2 o'clock.
cool.
SAT.
It's going to be May 8th.
It's going to be May 8th, the next
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did.
I think I got
Yes.
that email this afternoon.
Yes, I believe that.
May
was the
8th,
proposed
2
date.
p.m. next. And then after that, it'll be
Back to third.
back to third Thursday. Okay, just so we have.
And could I ask?
Yeah.
Dawn, are you able to attend this committee meeting?
Generally, yes, but I was actually out of the country this last one, and then the next one coming up, I have a standing meeting at 2 on Wednesdays. That was why I said I could attend Thursdays. So I'm gonna try to make it to the Wednesday if
Oh, no.
it stands.
Oh, wait. Oh, May 8th is a Wednesday.
Yeah, so-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typically, I should be able
It
to
should
make
get
it.
back into Thursdays.
It'll get back into
and- Yeah,
black.
back to that. Thank you.
All right, cool. All right. I see you guys got tons of policies you were looking through, so I'm sure we will see those
Yep.
coming our way.
Coming up.
Awesome. And then Hope, you mentioned to me, did you want to talk about, this might be as good a time as any to talk about professional development committee?
We did mention it briefly, Angel's right there, that about the school board rep.
Yeah.
Whether or not to continue with that. And Tim brought up a good point about it maybe is in.
The rules of that committee, I don't know if like the rules of that committee say that one of our board members has to
It
be on
should
that.
be composed of one school
Right.
board member. Angel, do you know, it does say that?
It does say that, and that is also part of the state law,
Oh.
and it is in our PD.
Well, then I guess we gotta go to it.
There's
So,
our answer.
there's our answer. All right. Sorry.
Another meeting.
Another meeting, yeah. Anything else for you, IC? Or any other questions anyone had? All right. Superintendent's report.
So you do have my written report in your packet. The one piece of it that I would like to focus on is the Plymouth State University Job Fair. Martha McDonald and Rick Simula and I went to that. It was on last Wednesday, the 17th. It was great. We probably talked to close to 100 students. And those students ranged, it was an educational job fair, so they didn't have just all students come in, which is unfortunate because schools now are comprised of more than just teachers.
Yeah.
So I think they will expand that next year, but we probably talked to 100 kids, ranging from kids in 12th grade that would be heading to Plymouth next year that were there for a visit, and freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, all the people that were there. I talked to kids about potential internships here in the district. We talked about substituting, and I just really promoted public education. I said that go home and substitute in your local school district. So it was great. It was really nice to go out there and see people excited about teaching and ready to take that on. So I think next year they'll expand it a little bit more, and hopefully we'll start to see some interns or even teachers come from there. So it was great. And that will be in a more detailed statement is in our newsletter for May with a nice picture of our table. It was really, Martha did a beautiful job.
Nice.
With the table. It was really very nice. People were taking pictures to model theirs after. Yeah, so Martha was
Martha's
spot
pretty
on.
talented with that.
She's very talented in that. She's not, it's not my, I stood out and talked to people. That's where I go. Martha was set up the table and made us look good.
It's a team.
Yep, it takes a team. So,
Anything else?
that's all I have, just
Okay.
kind of a reminder to go see Annie Jr. this weekend, as well as some job postings that are available on the website or at schoolspring.com.
Okay. I have a question. How do we get more student teachers from Plymouth? Like kids that are
I don't
learning?
know, we're just far enough
I
away
think,
that
yeah.
the other schools suck them in.
Yeah.
So that's, it is a case as a student teacher, you would need a car,
Yeah.
and it's a 45-minute drive,
Yeah.
so.
It's,
I did
yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
Canaan is about 35,
Yeah.
but still, it's a stretch. Yeah, it's worth asking.
It was.
It's worth it.
Plymouth does very well.
They do. Yeah, the schools right around Plymouth do very well with student teachers, that's for sure. All right, any questions for Amanda? All right, business administrator's report. I don't see financials in here, but, it's because Deb's been out, right?
Yes, Deb has.
So we'll have financials next time.
Yep.
That's fine. Quarterly reports. Who would like to go first?
Did you say I could go? Yes.
Aw.
First, Kevin and I can't help it, we're both for sainthood.
We've already been in a meeting for an hour and a half today. So we are kicked off in fourth quarter. I mentioned Destination Imagination. Not in my, quarterly report was our amazing Galapagos trip, which I can't wait to share with you. I'm still uploading thousands of pictures. Kamala said there's no easy way to do it. I just have to sit there and go to Wi-Fi. We've been working really hard at our building goals throughout this school year. Our third Thursday meeting, we have PLC breakout groups. Everybody meets. They did last Wednesday on early release. We sometimes do that. We do that on the Thursdays, but if we have an opportunity on an early release day to use that time, we do that. Teachers will be doing presentations on the meeting in May for 10 minutes, so each group will share out. This is really looking at the work sort of towards as we go through the ask. So all of that's kind of detailed, what we've been doing related to all of our building goals. And then I did share out, related to our s'mores newsletter. So I'm going about, except for the month of April, about 1,700 views.
We got 3 more badges, it's all gonna.
We have a little competition that we go over and hang in Kevin's building when we get our badges. I'm leaving.
We might leave yours out, but that's okay.
But it's really been great to engage with the community. Then we put it out, then it gets shared out in the superintendent's newsletter. So we're hitting many facets, and it's really spotlighting everything that we're doing here and just sharing out some amazing things. So 1,700 views, that's pretty awesome, I think. And then I go into detail about our SAT, PSAT test day was April 2nd. It is something that you really, technology-wise, you prepare for the worst and hope for the best. There was no issues. Technology-wise, it went very smoothly. You always have the kids that come in late, and then you got to deal with them because they have to test separately. But what was really exciting was Khan Academy was something that we started to put in place on about December, and Khan Academy is test prep to support SAT and PSAT. That happened every Tuesday morning. Everybody was in a spot, the same spot that they were in for SATs and PSATs, that same room that they were testing in, they went to that room so we could simulate the environment, who they were with. There was no surprises to reduce some anxiety. And we really had some students buy into the process. These are some of the top ones, but 228 minutes. We can't wait to look at that student and look at the correlation in test scores. And that's really what it's all about. We'll continue with that next year as, earlier in the year, we'll try to build in that Khan Academy time. But, we had some students that over and above just that test prep time. So we're really excited. All the scores aren't in yet through the portal. Once that's done, that's the first thing we're doing. So pretty exciting. The Ask just got a great letter last week. Pleased to learn the following. So we're moving forward with the process. We will have our accreditation, our cycle starts next year, and then we've been really working hard. We have the steering committee members along with the leaders of that are really working hard. So it begins in the fall and looking at a collaborative conference in 2025. So it's pretty cool stuff. It's great work. It's really great for our school. The process has changed in the past few years, so we're excited for that. It's much more innovative and looking to it's not looking at it from the past lens of what you can fix, but really how do you move forward with some great stuff. So good stuff.
Cool.
That's all I had. Any questions?
Any questions from the board?
I have one on the Khan Academy test prep. Is it optional, or is it just everybody has to do it?
Everybody's doing it. So SAT, a student can opt out. It's not a very common thing because SAT is required. So a parent can have a student opt out of PSAT or SAT testing. It's documentation, we have to upload it to the DOE. We have some, that happens, but it's not very many, maybe a handful. So the expectation was during that Tuesday time, you went on there. And it was really good because it's sort of different, it's engaging. It met the students where they were at and then built up, rather than sort of going on to an SAT test and then, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
So it started them and did a little pre-test and then it walked them through that. We did do some SAT, PSAT testing the 2 weeks before. We actually had little practice tests. So the students knew how to get to the portal to take the test and then did something practice. So we really did a lot of pre-work. We'll be doing the same thing with SAS, science testing that students are going to take for juniors. The same thing. Those students are going to go and have an opportunity to go into the modules, figure out all the tools, they'll watch a video, and then they're more familiar. Just that testing anxiety goes down when they know what to expect. So it was really effective. I mean, it's saying that it's going to raise their score, so I can't wait to connect the data and see where we're at, especially with the students that we know they did the most practice, because we have it all the records kept. We know how much time everybody went through the same portal that Eric Raymond shared out, so we know. So it's good.
Cool.
Right.
I think it's I think it's really good that this was built into the school day, because Khan Academy has been around for quite some time, but kids just haven't taken advantage of that, or others sort of on their own. Most kids don't. And so being able to link it to what they're doing and what everyone is doing, so
Right.
it doesn't seem like an outlier, or like, if you're worried about perceptions, that if everyone is doing it, then you're not sticking out as a sore thumb by
And what was
being
cool
engaged.
was, during that time, seniors got to talk to people about careers. So we have what's called Flex Your Future, and Eric arranges for professionals to come in. They come into the library, because everybody's in classrooms throughout the building, and they talk about careers. It's pretty exciting. We'll continue that next year. Today Dartmouth was here, talking about career paths, and I shared out about the Career Expo. All of a sudden today, she comes, she talks to kids. The list it's huge of kids wanting to go to the expo. So, anytime you can have people come and talk to kids, it's helpful.
Anyone else? Thank you so much, Tina. This is super helpful. I'm super excited to see how those scores do after this con. I know Lydia did con last year on her own, and it totally helped from her PSAT to her SAT. So I'm super excited to have everyone get to do that.
Yeah.
It's huge when you
It's
see
gone
kids.
well, and it was just out of the expectation. You didn't get a chance.
That's right. That's right. And you surprise yourself,
Yeah.
So, all right. Thank you. Who's next? Who would like to go next? Jamie? All right.
Second
Come on
one.
now.
Mine's like a deep. So I started off just sort of what we have coming and what we've done so far. We had author Marty Kelly came the day before break and met with all of our students K to 4, and he did this really great. He talked a lot about his process for writing and being an author and an illustrator, and so he talked about sort of where he starts and all of that, and he's got to experience that, which is great. We have another author coming in May, Matt Essenwein. He was in our building last year through the Cliff Grant. This is sort of, these two authors are sort of in response to, there's a secondary grant that you can get the year after the year of the book grant that we all received. And Matt actually is coming, Matt is coming because our kids wrote thank you letters to him last year, and he's actually donating his time and coming in response to him coming last year, which is really cool. So we're excited about that. The Kids Heart Challenge, we used to call it when I was a kid, Jump Rope for Heart. It's not that anymore. It's the Kids Heart Challenge. Our building raised $7,800 this year, which is really exciting. Last year, I think we were about $7,600, so we're just barely over where we were. Our 5, you'll see in the newsletter that's coming out that our top fundraiser got to pie Mr. Jones, our PE teacher, in the face in an assembly on Friday, and we took lots of pictures and videos, and that was really, really fun. So we were excited about that. And this Thursday, all kids K4 are coming to see Annie Jr. They're not going to show us the whole thing. It's going to be great. Tina's having a bit of a heart attack because both buildings are coming at the same time, but it's going to be great. So we're excited for that, because I think, we've talked about this before. The more we can experience the arts, the better for kids. I talked a little bit about our building goals. Our social emotional well-being of our students is really being addressed in multi-tiered systems, and we are using the BAS through AimsWeb, which is something that our school district already has as sort of our first tier, but we have a number of other tiers that are happening, and our school counselor does the second step curriculum in every classroom, and so that helps address some of those things. And, then we have WISE coming, so that's also something that's coming up next. Our community engagement, we're trying to get better at that. We have the local librarian from Enfield has been coming to school. Historically, our kids, once every other week, walk to the library and they meet with her. She's been coming to us because they're under construction, which has been really, really great. My sister-in-law has a dog that's a therapy dog. She comes in once a week, and my first graders read to her in small groups, so that's really great. And I don't have the numbers that Tina has with S'more, but I did hit 1,100 views on my last one, so that's pretty great, considering I only have 222 kids in my building.
That's right.
So that's great. I got the global I got the global
Yeah.
badge, which I sent
We
to
gotta
Erica.
bring-
I sent it to Erica. I bypassed Kevin.
It doesn't matter, it's the badges.
I got the global badge, so I sent it to Erica. She printed it for your wall.
Right.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. So
We're a little competitive.
yeah.
Whatever motivates you.
All badges matter.
I like that.
Our last building goal is really centered around our early literacy. I talked at the EIC and Paige Hope talked about it not too long ago. We're making huge growth in our academic data with our reading, with our win block. Students are, and you can see it in the NEWA data. It's very clear that at all grade levels we are making growth. In our reading, we continue to focus on that early literacy. We have a handful of teachers that are taking the letter training that's through the state Department of Education. Because it's been so popular, they've added another series. They're going to start in the fall, which is really exciting. We are working on bringing in more and more of the materials that are going to directly affect the delivery of instruction for this learning. We're working hard to help get Keenan on board so that we're doing similar things in both buildings and so that we're really going to see some growth. My hope is that I have a 5-year plan. Everybody keeps telling me it's going to happen in 3, but my hope is that this year's first grade, by the time they come to the middle school, are all going to be readers, and we are going to, we're really going to make some change in our special ed population. It's clear in the data. It's happening. It's there. So we're just going to keep plugging away. We're going to keep working on it. Our projections for classes for next year, do you want that now too?
If you want, we have it. I mean, we had
It's
it in
later,
our
and I think it's-
packet. But
I think you're okay.
Okay.
you're fine. Yeah, don't worry.
Okay. I'm good.
You're fine. All right. Any questions for Jamie? Cool. All right. Who'd like to go next?
You all set if I go?
You do live technically a little bit farther away.
So, first on my quarterly report, DI. And there we have the pictures of the 2 teams. It's exciting that we had not just 1, but 2 teams qualify for globals. Storm Budson, Jaden Bates, Scarlett Bates, Carter Goodness, Abigail Lockett, and Gretchen Lockett are the last from the past. And then, so the challenge, Adeline Josephson, Silas Jukowski, and Reese Woodard. And the advisors are Heather Oliver, Matt Oliver, Ayla Steer, and April Guinness will be the administrator accompanying them to Kansas City. So we're excited. We are fundraising. If you have any wonderful materials lying around, junk, whatever you want to call it, we are taking it for an auction. So I cleaned out my shelter logic Saturday. It looks a lot better. Donated, a truck worth. So if you have anything lying around, we'll take it. Used or new. Professional training, we had our leadership team, part of our leadership team go to the NELMS conference on March 25th. And 5 of us presented our journey on being a Spotlight School to a packed room of other educators from around New England. And the talk the next day was that we were a hit. And that getting the word out about being a Spotlight School and achieving that status, a lot of schools were interested to the point where they asked if I would send a teacher to Newport to do a Spotlight review there. So Beth Hutchins has volunteered, and she'll be on an actual review team from our school looking at their process and giving them input into how to be a Spotlight School. What things that, from whatever she's looking at, that they need to do to be a Spotlight School. So we made a mark in New England, and that's good. We also did on our early release day and our teach workshop day, working on vertical alignment, grades 5 through 12. So as far as curricula, that is working well. And you have our student enrollment for next year. Area of focus, we are, I didn't put it on here, but we not only are we working on the next plan for it to continue to be a Spotlight School, we're working on our assessments. Teachers are doing modules, preparing for the test. We have the luxury of doing all grades for a writing test in March, which we did. And now, in another week, we're going to start all the other grades again for math, reading, and science with 5 and 8. It takes all of May for us to complete the testing for SAS with no wiggle room. So I can't have kids out sick because we don't have a long window for makeups. Assessments do tie up our middle school, just so you know that. But we are working on that. We're working for students to grow. And for the strategic plan, we are working on our SWORs and trying to get as many badges as we can to get our word out to parents about what's happening at the middle school. And we did add 3 more badges. I think we're up around 11 out of 16, so we're quite proud of the middle school.
All right.
Any questions?
Any questions for Kevin?
I told you we're all slightly competitive.
We have a
I
lot
mean,
of
since
fun.
you guys are so competitive, have any of you thought about working with, making sure that your PTAs and PTSAs and other affiliated groups are kind of sharing it out as well?
Oh,
I don't have one of those.
Thank you.
I
We will.
I mean,
I'll be
when
able
there's
to-
stuff that's related, it's easy
I'm
for
pretty
us.
sure it goes on the EVS Facebook page that's
Yeah.
run by the PTA.
Okay, there's going to be a message every
Alright,
month
so
to Royal
James-
Athletic Boosters. Wait, that's a big audience.
Thank you, Dan.
It is.
I have the smallest school, just saying.
Yeah. We're so
You're
proud.
like 10 people behind me.
Whatever, I'm still the smallest.
Danielle, we're good.
All right.
It's a rough crowd.
Take it away. Go ahead.
We have a lot going on at CES. As was mentioned a little earlier, that the AV club from the high school came down. It was a blast. The kids, I went around after they'd gone back to their classes and said how they felt. They're like, that's so awesome. One kid said, I can't wait. Well, I'm kind of bummed I won't get to do it next year. And then another kid goes, but we'll get to join. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm so excited. Like, they were just so excited. They loved being able to do the karaoke at the end. They sang Wheels on the Bus.
Was it all grades or just?
It was just the fourth grade.
Perfect.
Just to get them sort of excited and pumped up about Seth's program. The students that he brought with him ranged from IRS, AV Club, and high school. And they were great. Pamela was there. I hope you took pictures.
It's on Facebook.
I saw it on
CES
Facebook.
webpage, and we took a video and I put that on the website so that they can see like the karaoke show that they did. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. It's adorable. They all knew Wellerman.
Yeah.
It's a sea shanty song because
Yeah.
Megan taught it to them in chorus, so
Oh,
the
yeah.
kids knew every word. Darling, and they have no like inhibitions about performing because they're always singing in front of each other, and they've
Yes.
been singing in front of each other for chorus anyway. So what's the big deal?
great.
So they're like up at the microphones with like the lights in their face and the camera going, and the kids standing in front cheering like they're groupies. It was
Love it.
amazing.
I love
Cutest thing.
So that was exciting. We had author Natalie Warnick, Kinsey Warnick?
Yeah.
Warnick Kinsey. She came 3 times. One as an author visit as part of the Cliff Grant Fund for the second year. And then she came for 2 days and did a writing workshop that was in my s'more newsletter. We did a kindness buck thing right before February break. That was exciting. The kids were so cute. They like to come with their little piece of paper that says that they got a kindness buck, and then they got to pick a sticker, and they were just so happy. Some of them were like, I don't know, my teacher just gave it to me. I'm like, well, you have to do something, guys. And they were like, well, I held the door. I'm like, there you go. So we did that. That was a lot of fun. We have an author visit coming in June 7th, I believe. Let's see what else we have coming up. We managed to do the SAS writing and get all of that in back in March, and that threw everybody for a loop because it's not normally that early. We are prepping, and May is a long month of testing. We've got our NEWAs scheduled and our SAS testing scheduled, so we're looking forward to that. My s'mores newsletter.
average went up. I did average. I did hit 1,000.
I went to the Galapagos.
I know.
Doesn't matter.
It's fine. You're gonna win, whatever. But it increased from the last quarterly report from 315 for my average views to 566. So I would say the last 4 months I've hit over 1,000.
All right.
And I only have 242
That's awesome.
students.
I'll congratulate
So it's been pretty good. For professional development, Angel and I took a group from CES to the New Hampshire ASCD math conference. That was, it was excellent. We had a great time. I'm looking forward to them sharing out with the rest of the staff in our May meeting. I have 2 different book groups going on. I have representation in each of those. The science of reading, the shifting the balance one is much larger of a group, but the fact that they get to communicate and talk with EVS teachers and the math book study has been fun too, because that's a K through 12 book group, so that's been fun. So we've had a lot going on, looking forward to the spring.
I have a question
Yeah.
for all of you about the s'mores. Have you noticed a decline in like people pestering, needing to talk to the office? Has it like helped you guys? I mean, because they're great. I mean, I've learned a lot from them, but you know, has it?
No, people still call me. Or
Well, just you know.
But I think it showcases so much more of what. Now, I have done it first, just because I had experience, and then when it became part of like sort of the district, communication.
Right.
It is such an amazing tool to just communicate even upcoming events or
Well,
what we
that's
have
what I'm saying,
going
so you're
on,
not-
and we can perpetuate, some things like I can put out vaping information. People may not read it if I email them, but they may take 2 seconds and read it through that format. For me, I think there's so much that happens at the high school. Sometimes mine's probably too long, all the blips, but I think there's so much good information, just the pictures that we can put in there. I think it's been just another platform that we can put good out information. And Kamala does a great job with Facebook stuff in addition to it, but not everybody has that, so that's just my
It gave my school nurse, sort of a soapbox to send out information.
Right.
I just email her and say, I'm working on the newsletter, what do you have for me? So this last one was all about it's spring and welcome tips, and the preventative stuff there. So that's been helpful. We were able to put out stuff about conjunctivitis, and it's always linked to her page on the website so that parents can get more information as well. But
That's a great use of it.
It
I
has
like
helped,
that, yeah.
It's organized everything that's going on in one spot versus a library doing her newsletter. I do whatever I was doing, front office doing whatever they're doing. You get like 3 or 4 different newsletters. Now it's one and everything's in there, so it's better. I haven't had one complaint. Usually I hear, I don't know about anything at your school going on. I haven't
Right.
heard
You
that.
don't get that anymore. Yeah.
I haven't heard that.
Good.
I was able to get almost all of my lost and found picked up before April vacation.
Wow, that
We
alone
set it up.
is worth-
We took pictures. I said,
Yeah.
you have 2 weeks because
Yes.
at vacation time it's going. We're going to donate it,
Yep.
and almost all of it got picked up.
That's
so
amazing.
that tells me people are actually looking at it, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, the lost and found on our website, Campbell would tell us that's always the top page.
Yeah,
whatever.
well, having go up to some more where you guys can update it, as things are gone.
Yeah.
But I heard from parents
My table's too big.
that they said that they were like looking at it and blowing it up.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they were
Oh,
looking
yeah.
at their kid and going, which one of these is yours? So yeah, they
It is your
were
water
using
bottle.
I
it.
would get email. I got an email from a parent. Actually, I sent it out, and it was like, I don't know, 1:00 in the afternoon. She emailed me immediately and said, "That hat belongs to my kid. He's home with a fever. Can you put it aside in his classroom?" Like, so I know people are paying attention, and I'm not sure that they have been before. So
That's awesome.
It's been great.
Mine's big because I have other schools come here. Does that work?
All right. Anything else for
Quit it.
anyone still here? Anything else for any of these 4? All right. Thank
Nice
you.
job.
Yeah, I mean, you got a treat to leave, but yeah, Angel will be up next, and then we'll just have Craig and Chris's reports to read. Angel, take it away.
Thank you for letting me present remotely. I'm homesick. So
So I didn't want to share my germs with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks.
First off, I just want to say thank you to all the buildings for doing such a great job with the SMORE newsletters. And I think it's because they really want people to know what's going on, not just because of the badges. They are competitive with the badges, but so you do have my curriculum report, quarterly report. Mine is not necessarily the fun stuff. I start off with the federal grants. And just wanted to let you know that we have been monitored in a number of places this winter. We had programmatic monitoring, fiscal monitoring, and then the principals have alluded to the SAS monitoring. So all of those are now on a 5-year cycle, which is good. We are now getting back the reports, and we do have some things that we will need to update, some policies and procedures and things like that with the grants. So been working on that quite a bit. Curriculum review cycle continues. We continue to look at ELA. I think it was April who mentioned the 6 shifts science of reading book group. That has been great. Really galvanized people's discussions and thinking as we're learning more about the science of reading. And that's really helped inform the work that we're starting to do to work on the ELA curriculum. Right now, we're kind of in the midst of talking about next year, do we want to try and pilot a new program or not? Pilots are a little bit controversial, especially in smaller schools. So we're still a little bit up in the air about that. I think we're probably going to look at materials from different programs and not pilot them, but we haven't decided that yet.
Okay.
In March, we did work some more on our Alma transition and elementary competency-based report cards. That was really what the elementary teachers spent the majority of their PD time on in March. So that is going well. We did a survey for families about the report card and got some feedback about that. And so just kind of working on making a plan for next year. There's some adjustments that we'll make. And we've already started to make some adjustments to comments and things like that. For Title I, we do have after-school tutoring up and running at this point for students who are Title I identified. This is a little bit different from previously because it can only be students who are identified at CES and IRS who can receive the tutoring. So that's up and running. That's happening after school using Title I funds. I did send you guys a copy of the PD master plan. That committee has worked really hard on this update over the winter. I want to give a special shout out to Alex Lyman, who was our tech expert with this process. She did 2 things that were especially important for us. She made it so that it has a table of contents so that when this is done and ready and approved by you guys and the state, we will upload it to the webpage and the table of contents will take you to any of the pages. So it makes it much more user-friendly. And then the other thing that she did is she took screenshots of all our forms in Frontline. So our previous master plan had the old paper forms, and everything is on Frontline now. So she took all those screenshots and did a lot of formatting for us. So as Hope did mention, we did update it. We didn't change really any of the content. We changed the formatting. So we took a lot of information, we put it into tables, and we took out a little bit of kind of the philosophy, some quotes and things like that we didn't necessarily need to streamline it, and then we aligned it with Frontline. And the last piece, I just wanted to mention that we continue our work on performance-based assessments, project-based learning, and we focused on that March during the Professional Development Day. We had New Hampshire Learning Initiative come back and do some work on Agile Classroom and just helping teachers continue to make that shift to performance-based assessments. Anybody have any questions for me?
Any questions for Angel?
Sounds like you guys have been busy.
Yeah, definitely sound like you're keeping busy. I was just flipping through this master plan for PD. Looks good. I mean, it's got a lot of bringing it forward to the next level and kind of emphasis on what's important now, what versus what was. So appreciate that. Cool. Any other questions for Angel? Comments? Awesome. Thank you.
Tim,
Thank you.
while we're kind of on the
Yeah,
master
sure.
plan, could you move that, would you mind moving
No,
that
go
up
ahead.
on the agenda?
What?
And Angel could
Oh, PD
answer
master
any
plan, yeah.
questions on that,
Good
and then
point.
she could go be sick.
Yeah. I entertain a motion to move PD master plan update to next on the agenda.
So moved.
All right. Do we have a second?
Second.
And all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstain. All right. Why don't you talk about the PD master plan update?
So, really just looking to see if you guys have any questions about any of the changes that we made, or if you want to see any type of side-by-side. Like I said, everything that's in it is really required by law. And so we just tried to streamline it and put everything in maybe a more usable format so that teachers, instead of emailing me and asking questions or emailing the PD committee, we hope this will be a usable document that they will become more familiar with.
Yeah, it's very well organized on a lot of things like requirements and types of professional development and like where you can get these hours and how many hours you can get annually. This is very helpful. I can see how for a teacher this would be super helpful. Cool.
Do we need to approve this?
Yes, we do.
Do we need to make a motion?
Yeah, sure.
Make a motion that we approve the professional development master plan as presented.
Now, second?
Kathleen second. All right, discussion on that.
Looks good.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it's built off SMART goals, which is specific and strategic, measurable, attainable, relevant, time frame. Like, that's huge. That's really great. So, cool. Any further questions, discussion, concerns, whatnots? All right. All those in favor of adopting the professional development master plan as update as presented signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Abstentions. All right. There you go. Thank you so much. We do need to get somehow a student representative on this group. So, and a public representative somehow. So, we'll work on it.
Feel better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Then we can table school board photo, because that's not going to happen today. You see in your packet, you have the special ed and the technology quarterly reports. Either one of those two guys can make it tonight. As always, if you have any questions, direct them to Amanda, and she will get over to those, Chris or Craig. So, while we're talking about technology, I think that's a great use of the AV club to bring that to the CES. I thought that was awesome, like to get them, and any club to bring it to fourth graders from IRS, to get them excited for the next year, because there's a huge drop when you get to middle school, like I'm too cool for this or that. Yeah. All right. Next thing we have here is new business, CES and EVS roof bids. You have a bid here in your packet. And I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we accept the bid from North Point Roofing.
Yes, that would be the recommended.
Okay,
bid.
I was gonna say, there's
No
listing
recommended on there, but
yeah.
that is the recommended
Okay,
bid.
great. In the amount of $322,500.
Okay.
For the EVS and CES roofing project.
I'll second.
Kathleen second. All right, discussion on that. I have one question, and that is, why is there a difference in square footage between the two quotes?
Well, we're trying to figure that out also, and it comes down to the way that they measured perhaps,
Okay.
and the squares that it would take.
Okay.
You know, when they measure.
Yeah.
I don't want to know too much about this,
Right.
but in the measurement, it comes down to
How many?
what the order would actually be.
Right.
So we think that the North Point roofing is pretty accurate. And Keith Ford has been consulting with us on this,
Okay.
as well as Dan Ivy and Matt.
Okay.
Have all three been involved, and we feel pretty confident that that's a pretty accurate bid for the
I just didn't want to be missing like 450
Yeah, no,
square feet
no,
off the roof.
that would be awkward. No.
Well, it does specify that Infield Village School is 8,000 square feet, and that is information they got from our specs, right? So
Yeah.
we're kind of covered on that. If they
Yeah.
run short, that's their problem.
That's their problem, yeah.
Right.
They didn't do the measurements right, that's their problem, so. All right, any further?
Did we not have CES in the specs? Like what
I'm looking for the exact bid here. I do think that there were numbers in there, but
It
they
says
did.
and CES.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, the 8,000, I do recall, I don't remember off the top of my head, from the exact bid,
Okay.
what it was, but they've measured on their own anyway.
Okay.
And the CES roof is a little different, like there's two
Funky.
Yeah.
funky pieces that fit together, so.
Yeah, maybe one calculated it one way and one calculated a different way and figured out they could do something, I don't know, so. Well, they'll get it covered regardless, so.
And this number down here is what was budgeted, right? The CIP project?
That is correct, because we have, made some changes to the CIP to move money, because we did not have the original estimates.
We
were
did not budget that.
No, I
remember right.
going to cover that number.
Yeah.
So you will see this in finance and facilities on the 1st.
Wonderful.
You will see a new updated version.
And I'm gonna ask now, it should have theater stuff in it, so.
I'm just hoping it's not a typo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, anything else on these roof bids? All right, motion on the floor is to award the bid in the amount of $322,500 to North Point Roofing of Goffstown. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes. All right, thank you, North Point, and we look forward to that brand spanking new roof this summer. So, up next, policy. It's a policy IIB, IIBR class size projections for 2024-25. You'll see in your packet you have CES, EVS, and the high school projected class sizes there, and the IRS ones are in the IRS quarterly report. And you're just looking for approval?
No, it
This
just
is
says in the
information.
policy that you will be noticed of these in April. So these are just there for your information. It could be a little more fluid. You'll see, the elementary schools and the middle school even are pretty straightforward. Where we start to get into a little bit of an issue is when you start to really look at the number of kids in each class for a course here. And Tina's working very carefully to make sure that we're not running classes of 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Which we have done before. So those, we're really looking forward to the Center for Personalized Learning reopening again with a new person heading that. And what we'll be able to do is take the couple of kids maybe that want to take French 4 and put them into a VLAX class or an alternative way to learn that, and hopefully eliminate that classes.
For the high school one, I'm guessing that the number of kids that have enrolled for that class are the ones that are directly after the name of the class, like honors geometry 19 in parentheses section that says 1 all, 2 all, 1 all, 1 all.
Yeah.
And so that will mean they're running one class all semester, and then the one below it, like algebra, IB, 32, 2 sections. They're running 2 sections, 2 classes all semester for both semesters.
You're correct in that.
All right. Yeah, there's no classes I see that are fewer than like 8, and that would be like AP English, which I can understand. You know what I mean? Like that's the class I would.
Right. So Tina's done a really good job of making sure that we're not running 2 sections and we only have 8 kids. Right, to try to fit kids into everything. At some point, we're a smaller school, you might have to make a choice, but that choice could mean you take something online.
Yeah. My worry is when you start getting up into higher sections like your physics honors. And I've got 14 kids in there next year, so that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. But I worry about that kind of class, so.
And you do want, 9, 7, 8, 9, I don't know, I've never taught a class of that few. It's not enough to have robust discussion, right? 30 is too many. I know I've taught classes of 30. So, it's that fine balance in between 16, 17, 14, even up to 20 and in the mid-20s for a high school course is okay.
I see we did not have enough people take up the offer of mobile app development. Just looking at this, just looking through here at some of these.
And then also geography and psych-soc.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised by psych-soc.
I think that's probably one of those classes that's really popular some years and then drops off. And, you know what I mean? But I'm glad to say, no, I like some of these computer ones will just have to take time to get their feet under them. You know, for newer classes, give them some time, I guess. But
Is there concern around the, some of the smaller performing arts classes?
There is some concern around that.
Yeah.
That would be true. Tina and I have been talking about that, and the declining numbers. I'm going to meet with both Kevin and Tina. Angel and I, we're all going to meet to discuss a plan to help boost numbers by promoting it more at the elementary school and the middle school, and that may very well involve some realigning of teachers, just because we have gone all year without any applicants for the middle school music position.
yikes.
Yeah,
Yikes.
it's pretty concerning.
It is. Yeah, I just don't want to see opportunities like, you know, we have a lot of kids doing art concepts, ceramics, drawings, all that sort of thing, but then by the time they get to be a senior, I don't want them to lose those chances on those courses just because there's only 4 of them left, like only 4 of those kids left, you know what I mean? So that's all. That's my only concern about whittling down classes as they get more advanced, that's all.
Yeah, no, I do see there's a lot of, the art program here, you know, is very good.
Can I ask how you guys choose the AP classes? Is that based on student interest or basically if the teacher is available to teach it or?
So that is a question that we are working on. We have a lot of kids that want the AP courses but don't want to take the AP test. So that's another discussion that we're having of, is it better to not offer it as AP, but to offer it as a dual, concurrent, running start class where the kids would actually get credit for it at the college
Might be a little
level.
better.
Yeah, that would.
You know, it actually hurts us, it hurts the ranking of this high school when we have kids in AP classes that don't take the test or take the test and don't do well because they just not invested in it.
Right.
So we're really having that discussion about what's best for our kids and what's best for our school. Is it better, my opinion, it might be better for us to run that dual, you know, you're gonna get a rigorous class because
It's
you're
a
gonna get
college level class.
credit for it.
Yeah.
So,
And with the change in how a lot of colleges and universities are considering AP scores for placement but not credit. You know, the benefit that had previously been in saving you money in college coursework down the road has become less of an incentive. As opposed to dual enrollment.
It's also, a kid can take an AP test. They don't have to have class, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can,
I
you
think you
can,
yeah.
but you have to spend money on it, and you're not prepared, so they say don't do
They
it.
say-
They're like, because the class is like designed to like get you ready for that
Funnel you
test.
into it.
Yeah.
It would be better if you're in that situation, you'd be better off doing a CLEP test, which is subject specific and is not predicated on taking a specific coursework. It's just, it's the concepts of that particular course, but that's how some people will get credit, because again, CLEP tests sometimes are accepted at more places than AP scores.
And you mentioned that, I just remembered I had friends when I was in high school, we did not have like an AP math class, but I had friends that went like, I'm gonna take the AP calculus test. It did not go well at all, so yeah, it was not pretty.
So I have a question about the CES projected class sizes. I don't understand the bottom box. It says if we create a combined 1-2 classroom, it'll help alleviate the larger class sizes of grade 2. How's that work? I'm not getting it.
So what April is thinking about, and we're gonna start to really dive into this, is do you go with, she's got a limited number of teachers, right? So she's kind of got that one floating teacher. She would keep 3 kindergartens. She would then potentially go to 3 first grades, but the number 47 is kind of low. The number 41 to have only 2 sections of that. If I'm looking at that top class, it's kind of a big class. So the bottom is the potential of maybe she would have a 1-2 combination class. So she'd peel off quite a few of those first graders and a few of the second graders. So it would be a 1-2 grade for her. So that's why she's giving you that other option there. of what they would potentially do with a 1-2 split.
They've done successfully different grade splits at that.
I love
Like
a
a
split
3-4, 2-3, 1-2.
done well with a teacher that's excited to do it
Yeah.
and well supported, it's very good for kids.
Yeah, because you take kids that maybe need a little extra staff, like structure from grade 1, kids who are going to go into grade 2 that maybe didn't do snow pot in grade 1, maybe need a little extra structure, or, you know, just could benefit from that unusual arrangement. But, cool.
Yeah, it's that second grade with 21 in two groups that gets a little bit tricky.
I remember from talking with other parents for kids that had a teacher that would teach their kid, like a 3-4, the kid had the teacher in grade 3, and then they continued with essentially the same class as a 4th grader, combined still with 3rd graders, and it like led to continuity for that kid, so that way the kid had the same teacher for 2 years in a row at the elementary school level, and that was a kid who could probably use that structure and that little more support and that little extra oomph, I guess. But yeah, that's what I've seen it as a parent with other kids. I can't speak to it
Looping
personally.
is very good for kids too, that looping of the teacher.
Oh yeah, that loop, yeah.
And then for the IRS, looking at 5 potential sections for the 8th graders.
Yeah, that class could have 5. Kevin gave you 4 because he said 0 applicants for that last position there.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Well, we see what'll happen if he gets one. We'll see what happens if he doesn't get one.
Right.
So,
Right.
I hope he gets one.
Yeah, that's the plan. Right now, the plan is to fill that
Yep.
position.
Yeah.
But if, you know, we just don't have a teacher, just like we started this year,
Yep.
6th grade, and then had to split them out when we finally found a teacher.
But we have a plan, so that's really good.
Yeah, Kevin is thinking ahead.
Cool, cool, cool. All right, so that's just that. Staff retirement celebration. You are probably looking for an approval for supplying some treats.
Yes, and just to let you all know that that is on June 3rd.
June 3rd, thank
Martha
you.
will send you out an official invitation if you would like to come.
Yes.
But yes, we would like some approval for some treats. Yeah, I think
How
so,
much?
you typically do
Yeah, we
that.
do typically do some refreshments and such.
Yeah.
Like, do you
We
want
split
to
that with the MVREA.
Yeah.
I don't
$1,000.
typically know how much. I can find a number and come back with it.
Okay.
But I think really this, just to let you guys know to put it on your calendars
Yeah.
for June 3rd, because it's coming up very quickly.
Yeah, let us know how much they would.
Yeah.
Yes, June 3rd will be here before you know it. Jeez Louise. All right, we did the master plan update, senior gift approval, board retreat dates. So if you heard earlier, Tina was talking about how they're going to have the senior awards on June 9th, which is a Sunday. I think if we pencil in our board retreat for that day, they typically have the awards ceremony at like 4 p.m. That's when they've had it in the past.
Yeah, 4 to
Yeah.
6 usually.
4 to 6 is usually the time, so if we do our board retreat like noon to 3, and we'll get, if you want to do, we can do it downstairs like we did last time,
Yeah.
if you like, we can get lunch from
Have
somewhere,
Yeah.
and that sort of thing, so.
Yeah.
Does that work for people, June 9th? All right.
I have a question about the board retreat.
Yeah.
This is a year of grit, right?
It
Year of
is
what?
the year of grit.
It's
Yeah.
the year of,
Year of
should
grit.
we do a self-assessment this year?
Sure, why not?
I don't think we've ever done that.
Yeah, funny you should ask, because that is on the policies that, so I will provide that.
Thank you.
What time is the board retreat? Sorry.
Let's plan on like noon to 3, and then that'll give us some time to break and whatever, and then we'll have the ceremony at 4 you can go to if you like. But just giving that option so that we can go if you want, so. Because I will be there for sure with the senior, so. Oh, you're gonna be there, oh, that's right, you'll be there for the boosters, very nice. Cool. So yeah, we'll do like noon to 3. If anything changes, we'll tell you. We'll decide that at a meeting, so. All right, so now we got some policies here. As you'll see, we have some policies for first reading. We have 1, 2, 3 policies for first reading. The rest are rescinding, so we will skip that for right now. But if someone would like to make a motion on policy AA, AB, and JIB, those are the 3 that I see that are.
Yeah, I move that we approve policy AA, school district legal status, policy AB, people in their school district, and policy JIB, student involvement in decision-making, all for first reading.
Second.
And Kathleen seconds. All right, let's start with policy AA. So these are some of the older policies. Oh, look at that, 1989. So we're updating these just so that they're within the last 35 years. This brings it more in line with NHSBA suggested, but this just basically gives us legal status as a school district. Talking about the composition of the towns that are in the district and what schools we have and yada yada. Any comments, questions, concerns on that?
Yeah, I mentioned a couple at the meeting, I still have them.
Okay, what was that?
So the second paragraph, I feel like the NHSBA one even said, the last two words, and as such are considered corporations. I believe it should say municipal corporation.
Which policy, Hope?
Oh, sorry, AA.
AA.
Yeah, they say municipal corporations.
Yeah, let's put the
NHSBA.
word municipal
Yeah.
corporation.
So you want that back
Yes,
in?
please.
Yeah. And then I really disagree with this third paragraph. The way it describes funds, second sentence, funds for school operating expenses are approved by a majority of qualified voters present and voting at the annual school district meeting, except bond issues require a 2/3 vote, which should say under separate warrant article. But the disagreement I have is that we are an SB2 district.
Yep.
So
That
I
qualifies
don't
still.
think that really covers an SB2.
So it does, because what SB2 does is it...
No, I know
Yeah,
what
no.
it does.
Right, that's still considered the annual school district meeting.
Even if it's,
It's split into two separate days. You have a deliberative session and then you
No,
have
I
a voting day.
understand, but it says approved by a majority of qualified voters present and voting at the annual school district meeting.
Right, which is held on election day. Which is held on town meeting day, the voting day that we go to the booths.
Right, we basically can modify it,
Okay.
and then it goes to a warrant article to town meeting. It's not approved.
No, the funds for school operating expenses are approved by a majority of qualified voters present and voting at the annual school district meeting. The annual school district meeting they're referring to in this clause is election day. Is town meeting day at March, whatever, the second Tuesday of March. That's the meeting they're talking
Okay,
about.
I guess that's just really,
Could we put that in parentheses beside that?
That's the legal definition of the SB2,
Okay.
is
So
that
it's
is the annual
unnecessary
school
then.
meeting. Yeah, like that's my point, is that
Okay.
the annual school district meeting is the voting day.
well, it says the second, when you go to SB2, the second session allows voters to cast an official ballot to pass, fail proposed articles that were added to the ballot at the deliberative session. This voting occurs on each town's meeting day at the town's voting location. There is no annual meeting where the school community gathers to further the articles on the warrant and then cast their vote. So,
Okay.
I don't.
No, it's a good question. I can look it up and see if the RSA says a way to
I guess
talk
I would
about
just
it.
ask NHSBA again.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yep, we can ask.
So we'll bring
It's
this.
just-
It's a good
I
point.
mean, I definitely understand where you're coming from. Well, first of all, it would assume that people actually read the policy. But
True.
to understand that, but it is confusing if you're looking at it at present at the meeting, but what SB2 is talking about is part 2
Right.
of the meeting of the
Right.
body, which is voting in a booth somewhere. It's not necessarily intuitive to what you would.
I guess I just don't like the words majority of the qualified voters present and voting, because it really gets finished at town meeting on the warrant article.
So, and we have to dance around this carefully, right, because now I guess the town meeting that's in Enfield is their town business,
Oh, right.
whereas SB2. So,
Yeah,
Right.
and they switched back though, didn't they?
No.
No.
Don't.
No,
Trust me.
No.
did not happen.
You can bring it up
Spite of
again
the good
next
fight.
fall.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
Failed by,
15.
yep, failed by 15.
Really?
So I'll check, I can check Hope with.
I guess I would just be
well,
careful with that.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, if we could get.
Yeah, if they have better language, by all means.
And or if it's something where we can have some sort of an asterisk with a
Yeah.
little thing, explainer at the bottom.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Which just says,
Right.
as an SB2
Yeah.
district,
And then-
blah, 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 blah.
My other question, bonds, do bonds still require 2/3 or is it 60%? thought it
It
was
would
60.
be 60%.
So that should be,
Yeah, I think you're right, Tim.
And it, under separate
Yeah.
warrant article.
Yeah, there's a different RSA.
yeah. All right, we'll see if they have any update on this one. And maybe, who knows, maybe NHSBA,
They might need to.
they might not have looked at it in 30 years, so who knows. All right, so, okay, we'll look into that. Next one, policy AB. The people and their school district. It is essentially,
Did you skip AAA there?
no, that is a
that's gonna be
rescind.
Oh, that, I'm sorry.
So,
yeah.
yeah, no, we'll,
That's right.
yeah.
This is good.
I was gonna ask Martha if maybe she can hold off on the rescind ones until the actual meeting that we're rescinding them.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would make our brains a little softer. All right, so this is NHSBA suggested policy. This is not our current policy.
Actually, this one, AB, the School Board Association does not have a sample policy that
Okay.
goes with this one.
Okay, we have, this is our
This
policy.
is our policy.
And so, this is just looking at it to see if we want to review it, keep it, change anything on it.
Was there anything changed or
Yeah,
suggested
there
for
was one
change?
thing changed, so on section 1, or bullet number 1, or list number 1, it used to say students should be trained at home and in the schools, and I believe, Hope, you said mutually supported at home and in the schools. So
That's a
that was
better-
the only
yeah.
change
Yeah.
we made. I mean, you're just looking at a policy from 1989,
Yeah.
so it was time for these to be
Probably
updated,
trained them
refreshed,
back
or
Yeah.
set free.
Yeah. Which policy is this one? AB. Yeah, Hope, what did you put for AB? Yeah, mutually supported.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the policy. Like, it's a cool little policy. Just kind of establishing what we do and what the board does and what the public does and that sort of thing.
I mean, I think as long as it doesn't it doesn't contradict any of our other policies or
No.
state
No, I've got
law.
plenty of those. I got this one.
No, I like it.
Okay.
Cool. All right, and then the last one we have for first reading is policy JIB, student involvement in decision making. So this is an NHSBA optional policy. We do not currently have this one.
So, where am I, AF?
No,
JIB.
JIB.
JIB, yes. So this is, oh shoot, this is one that I added on, it's on my next.
Yeah, it wasn't on my list.
Yeah, so this takes the place of policy ABC
Mm-hmm.
that we
Oh, there
have,
we go, yeah.
ABC. So the NHSBA does not have an ABC policy, instead they have JIB. So what we need to do is look at, my opinion on this is that you should be adopting JIB and rescinding ABC.
Mm-hmm.
And really, they're very, very similar, so, or, hold on, I've got a lot of policies going.
No, they are very
ABC,
similar.
so they're pretty similar, I
Yeah.
think maybe there was just when ABC was adopted, it might have also been called JIB or something like that.
Yeah,
and
maybe that's
somewhere
more of that.
the coding got
Uh,
a little bit wonky, but ABC does no longer live in the New Hampshire School Board Association's policy manual.
And it does add the last sentence saying that the board may choose to add a non-voting student member from a high school in the district to the board. Does that align with our student representative policy that we have? Which I think we have one,
we do.
as long as it
We do.
aligns. Okay.
We do have that, yep,
It'll-
but I'm gonna check on that too, because it's
Yeah.
now a law that we have to do that, and NHSBA may have to update theirs.
Yeah, because we don't just choose to add a student member, we have a process
Yeah.
for it, like an election and all that, like they have to be elected by their student body and all that.
So yeah, we have to have them, so up
And-
until a year ago, this could be one of those policies they just didn't know that was
Right.
referenced in.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would actually, in the duty that we have as a board right now, I would, as us, knowing the value that a student representative brings, I would change that may to shall. Because I think that this board shall always have a student
And
representative.
actually, that would fix it all right there.
Yeah.
There we go.
That fixes it all. Perfect.
The board shall have a non-voting student member
Yep.
from a high school in the district to the board. There you go.
Yep, that fixes it perfectly.
That way, because I think that's a huge draw and a plus for our students here, that they have an opportunity to sit in this room with us and affect our decisions in any way. I mean, I know it doesn't seem like much when you're a student, but or necessarily, but it really does go a long way. And we've had some cool kids come through here and share some really cool stuff and bring some things to our attention that I'm glad they brought it to us. So, cool.
For 5, can we change extracurricular to co-curricular?
All right. Any other tweaks, changes?
Go back to policy AB, this is just a Martha thing, maybe, the category, if we add the category, I'm sure it's optional, but
Okay.
just.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's no school board association
Oh.
policy
Oh,
to
so you
reference
can't
it to.
do that.
Right.
Is that not what optional means?
It is, but if you all would like to deem it optional, we
No.
can do that. It just is not typically that is
Oh,
what the
so if
school
it's
board
blank, it
association-
just means they don't refer to it at all?
There's no.
They don't have one.
Gotcha, okay.
I thought we
sorry.
took that off before we put it into our policy anyway.
Well, I think we should keep them on,
I think we keep them on,
Okay.
yeah.
so that we know which ones are required by law.
Okay, I get it, I'm sorry, I was
Yeah,
no,
that's
looking
okay.
at that wrong.
I am gonna have to put a space on here for formatting's sake, because that's bothering me.
All right. Anything else on all 3 of those policies? All right, so we'll just move on first reading. All those in favor of approval of first reading, policy AA, wait, hold on, before I time out. Dawn, do you know, did we do any policies with you yet on how we do policies? So that goes for a first reading and a second reading?
No, but I was at a meeting where
Okay, all right.
I did observe that process.
Okay, good, I just wanted to make sure you,
Yes.
I just remembered, oh wait, someone hasn't gone through this yet.
No, I did come to a meeting where you did do this exactly.
All right, your homework paid off. All right, first, all those in favor of the approval for first reading, policy AA, policy AB, and policy JIB, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, abstentions. All righty. Public comment, hello, goodbye. Agenda items for next meeting. Committee reports, staff, sports staff nominations, although what do I see here? Is that non-sports staff?
That is support staff, we're bringing them early.
Okay.
Early, so that should come off there.
Perfect. Oh, and then we'll have student and athletic handbooks, and that'll be in time for them to be printed. That's good. Anything else?
You will have the Galapagos presentation.
Very nice. All right, and that meeting will be, what day?
14th, I believe.
14th? Yeah, 14th. Cool. All right, and we have non-public. Amanda?
We do, for purposes of hiring.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to go into non-public.
Motion to go to non-public?
Second.
All right, Danielle.
Yes.
Tim, yes. Kathleen?
Yes.
Hope?
Yes.
Dawn?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
All right, we are in